Hi guys, so I am not one to comment on social issues as this, but this is very important and I need to lend my thought on the matter. For all of you commenting and trying to call the attentions of the South Africans to the fact that other Africans participated in the eradication of the apartheid regime, I want you to know that South Africans are not ignorant. They know. Some of them lived through this era. I mean, apartheid regime was just eradicated in 1994. So they are well aware, they've not forgotten, the memory is still fresh in their minds. But what you all need to know is that South Africans need you to leave their country. It is as clear as daylight. They need you to leave their country because in their words, they are trying to clean up their society. They are trying to take back their economy. They are trying to take back the job opportunities that you're all taking from them. From an audit made in the land ownership in South Africa, land directly registered to individuals, you see that 72% of the land registered to individual are owned by the white South Africans. 15% of the land registered to individuals are owned by colored people. 5% of the land registered to individuals are owned by Indians. Just 4% of land registered to individuals are owned by the indigenous Black South Africans. Now you would see the disparity in land ownership in South Africa. And more than 80% of South Africa's economy is owned by the white South Africans that make up only just 8% of the South Africans' population. The indigenous South Africans that make up to 82% of the South African population are right now on the streets, wreaking havoc, laying claims that the 8.2% African migrants in South Africa are responsible for their lack of employment. Now, bear in mind that this 8.2 African migrants operate what we call an informal economy. Now, an informal economy is not a static shares waiting to be redistributed. It thrives from three things: hustle, networking, and efficiency. So if you don't have the hustle mentality, if you don't know how to network, and if you're not efficient, you cannot even operate an informal economy, which is what this African migrant depends on to survive in South Africa. Now, if you look at this whole campaign against African migrants, leaving South Africa, you would see that South Africans are actually keeping themselves busy with an illusion in mind. An illusion of a certain economic freedom that is nowhere close to reality. Now, let all the African migrants leave South Africa today. What is the economy they are leaving behind? Do you run a shop when you don't know how to operate a business? Do you offer services when you have no skill? Which is what these African migrants depend on to survive in South Africa. So what skill, what competency do you have to offer the service they offer? And I'm not saying that South Africans are not competent or are not skillful, but if you are, put it to work. Because if you're working, you will not have time for all of this mediocrity, as I would like to call it. And this is not me being too hard on South Africans, yeah? Backtracking a little bit towards the apartheid era, we understand the struggle, we understand your plight and pain. And Africans came together in solidarity of you South Africans. Yes, Africans came together in solidarity of you South Africans. Although I was not born in that era, at the time, better still, but then I grew up watching Serafina. We grew up singing Free, Free Nelson Mandela and all of the songs in solidarity of you South Africans. But I don't know what happened ever since, that in 2026, you people are still here. It is no longer the white people that is the Dracula in your home. It is your fellow Africans that you all are now campaigning against to leave South Africa, laying claims that these people are responsible for your economic strangulation. I mean, it is sickening to even think about. So 82% of you South Africans cannot build an economy so strong, that can stand against the 8.2 African migrants in your country, that you boldly, unashamedly come out to say that these people are responsible for your economic strangulation. What South Africans gained in 1994 following the eradication of the apartheid regime is an illusion of freedom, is an illusion of change. Because any change that comes and still maintain the system and the structure that economically strangulates a collection of people is an absolute bondage. And you South Africans, you have the right to chase anybody from your country. You have the right, but come correct. Come with the law. If you have problem with African migrants in your country, use the law. Change your constitution. Because people become citizens of South Africa by investment. You don't expect people who are heavily invested in South Africa to leave their investment because you are disgruntled. I mean, we have grown past a state where you act based on impulse and emotions, man. You know. So come correct, guys. If you want to chase every African migrant to your country, come correct, come with the law, and we'll be fine. Everybody will leave.